Coming up on Green Bay Nation, the Packers limp into the postseason, getting beat up and beat by the Bears. So now it's win or go home, starting the playoffs in Philly. All that and more next on Green Bay Nation. Hello and welcome back to Green Bay Nation. I am Lauren Helmbrag. Joining me to chat everything Packers, he's a Packers beat writer for the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Ryan Wood, and he is a radio host for 107.5 and 1400 The Fan, Marcus Eversole. So much for the Packers running through the finish line into the playoffs, right, guys?
Yeah, they kind of like stumbled over the finish line and face planted through the ribbon or something like that. It was not good.
Can I just say something? The Bears still stink, okay? I don't know if we can say the other word on air. They still stink, which is all you need to know about how bad this Packers loss was. The Bears are not good. The Packers just a little worse on Sunday.
I have a lot of friends who have Bears people in their lives texting them saying, oh my gosh, we beat you. But the Packers people are saying, yes, but we're still going to the playoffs. Ultimately, that is true, but this was supposed to be a bounce-back game for Green Bay after a Vikings loss. It could have been a tune-up, trying to, get everything right before the postseason. Instead, Green Bay is on the wrong side of a walk-off field goal, losing 24-22. Big takeaway for me, dropping to 1-5 in the division. Marcus, I'll start with you. What happened at Lambeau on Sunday?
It's a great question. I wish I could just leave it at that. What did happen on Sunday? The Packers looked like a team who didn't really know how to approach that game. And let's be real, on the outside, the way we were looking at that game, the way we were talking about that game going in, it was kind of a weird vibe. I mean, the Packers only had so much to gain in terms of playoff positioning. Whether or not they could improve their seeding depended entirely on the Cowboys-Commanders game. But it looked like the Packers went into that game thinking that, well, Commanders are probably going to win, and we'll probably build a big lead, so we're going to play our guys, but then once we build that big lead, we'll pull our guys, except none of those things happened according to plan, and the end result was the Chicago Bears doing the unthinkable, and that is beating the Green Bay Packers in a football game, and they deserved to win, but more so it was like the Packers deserved to lose, because they were in position to steal that game at the end, obviously, and then complete coaching malpractice occurred at the end of the game, which I'm sure we'll get to. It was a bizarre way to end what's been a pretty successful regular season.
Yeah, so Marcus got to the X's and O's of Sunday. I'll give you some context. I want to be a prisoner of the moment, and I want to say that this was the worst loss of Matt LaFleur's career, but that's not true because the regular season finale in 22 happened. All the Packers had to do is beat the Lions at Lambeau Field, and they're in the playoffs, and they don't. The last game that Aaron Rodgers played in a Packers uniform, a terrible way to go out. So it's not quite the worst loss the Packers have had under Matt LaFleur, but it's the worst team they've lost to. In fact, it's the worst team that they've lost to since December 2nd, 2018. You remember that day as the Arizona Cardinals coming into Lambeau Field 3-13 and coming out firing Mike McCarthy. That's the day that Mike McCarthy was fired. So talking 6 years, they haven't lost to a team this bad. Again, not how you want to enter the postseason.
So last week, our major consensus was that the Packers should win this game. But the bigger consensus was don't get hurt on the way doing it. And the opposite happened. Christian Watson goes down with a non-contact injury, ultimately tearing his ACL. Pretty much worst case scenario there for the Packers. He had missed the Vikings game with a left knee injury. He tears the right knee. Do you think he came back too soon?
I think the only way to answer that is I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows for sure. If anything, I think the answer is no, in that the Packers historically have a very conservative medical staff. They would not have put Christian Watson on the field, regardless of circumstance, if they didn't think the knee in question was okay. So I think people get way too ahead of themselves when they say, well, they never should have brought him back. They made the wrong decision. Believe it or not, the Packers have medical staff and trainers in place that know a lot more about their specific injuries than we do. That said, we can debate whether or not it was worthwhile to have someone who was on the fence dealing with an injury, whether or not the Packers should have been mindful and held him out. We could debate that, but the fact that it was the other knee, I mean, we got to pump the brakes a little bit if we're suggesting medical malpractice or anything like that. It's incredibly unfortunate. Couldn't have happened to anybody worse. The ultimate team player does whatever the team has asked him to do, and unfortunately, it's yet another setback for Christian Watson.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go out and say that there are plenty that you could criticize the Packers for on Sunday. I don't think this is one at all. To me, the question is, could Christian Watson, if he got through it healthy, of course, could he have benefited from being out there and getting some reps before the postseason with Jordan Love? And to me, the answer is absolutely yes. He missed the previous week against Minnesota. His significance to this offense is such that without him, and we'll talk about this later, without him, you don't have much of verticality in the passing game, so you want to get them rolling. And so long as the knee that was injured going into the game was fine, then, yeah, it was a good idea for him to be out there. Football tragic what happened to the other knee. And so it's not the way that they played out for sure, but I don't it's not revisionist history here. Absolutely, it was the right call for him. You wanted to get him rolling going in the postseason.
So I know we seem so cheery right now, but there is something to celebrate. The Packers are going to the postseason. They got the 7 seed. They're heading to the city of brotherly love and taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a rematch of Week 1. Win or go home this time. When we return on GBN, we preview this must-win playoff matchup between Green Bay and Philadelphia and all the injuries that surround the matchup. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. Lauren Halbrecht joined by Marcus Eversole and Ryan Wood. I hope that the Packers locker room is doing a better job at getting this sour taste out of their mouth from Week 18 than we obviously are, because there's more football to be played. Green Bay is heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles in the city of brotherly love in the wild card round. However, the Packers pass game might not look what we're used to seeing. As we already mentioned, Christian Watson out for the season with the torn ACL, but Jordan Love and Malik Willis both sustained injuries in the Bears game. Ryan, can you give us an update on their injury status and how it might impact the pass game in this matchup?
Yeah, I think for me, it doesn't really matter who's on the field. If Jordan Love can't be more accurate than he's been, they're not going to do much on offense. 2 weeks ago in Minnesota, they don't have Christian Watson, and they can't throw more than 10 yards down the field. But what the Vikings were really doing in that defensively in the secondary was daring Jordan Love to hit all this underneath stuff at a high clip, and he couldn't do it. For the past 5 games, Jordan Love hasn't completed better than 64% of his passes. You go back to last year, the regular season finale against Chicago Bears, he completed 85% of his passes going into the playoffs. That's a springboard. He doesn't have that right now, and oh, by the way, it's the elbow injury as well, which he'll play this week, but it's just one more thing to tack on. So, to me, whoever's out there, Romeo Doubs likely is going to be back. Not going to have Christian Watson. Jaden Reed, you got to get him involved. Dontavian Wicks. You know who the cast is, but Jordan Love's got to hit his passes at a much better clip than he's been.
And just a reminder, it's the elbow, like you said, numbness all the way until after the game. And Malik Willis, the backup quarterback, said he can't really grip the ball perfectly well right now because he hit his hand on someone's helmet.
Not ideal for quarterbacks.
Not ideal to go into the playoffs. You know what else isn't ideal? Having to stop Saquon Barkley. He leads the league in rushing yards. He is a force. Marcus, how do you, I would say stop, but I'm not going to. How do you slow Barkley?
Well, it's interesting. I was kind of waiting for you to ask how they're going to stop Saquon Barkley, and I was going to say what you just said, and that's that you really can't. I mean, Saquon Barkley is kind of like, to use a basketball analogy, whoever you think, James Harden in his prime, or Kobe, where if you're averaging 30 a game, he's going to get his. And Saquon Barkley is going to get his. 2,005 rushing yards on the season, sat out the regular season finale, was only 100 yards shy of Eric Dickerson's single-season record. Saquon Barkley is an absolute stud. In his first year with the Eagles, he's been sensational. He's averaging 142.6 yards from scrimmage per game. 142 total yards per game. Against the Packers in the season opener, he touched it 26 times for 132 yards and scored 13 touchdowns. Now, can they contain Saquon Barkley? Yes, they can. It's not going to be easy. And if the Packers are going to pull off the upset, they're going to need to contain Saquon Barkley. And I think the key to it is the guy you just saw, Edgerrin Cooper. His athletic ability against Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts is going to come up key. Cooper's become one of their most valuable players on defense. He only played 11 snaps in that season opener and still made a couple plays. So Cooper going to be key on Sunday.
So the Packers season could be bookended by losses to the Eagles because they started week 1 in Brazil, losing to Philadelphia. I'll do both of you. What's different about this Green Bay team that makes it so that they don't lose again?
So many things are different, and I'll just kind of piggyback on what I said about Edgerrin Cooper. Both of these defenses have really good rookies who were actually both taken in the second round, and they're both named Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper for the Packers and cornerback Cooper DeJean for the Eagles. Third highest graded corner in the NFL this season. He only played 6 snaps in the opener. So both have a really valuable defensive piece that barely played in the opener, but there's a lot different from 4 months ago.
Is it too easy to say Christian Watson's not on the field? Yes, it is, but he caught a touchdown in the opener. So not having him, someone's going to have to get into the end zone. I think what's different is the Packers know exactly who they are now. It was maybe around mid-season when they realized, oh, this is power running first and foremost, and you do it a lot. And Josh Jacobs had a big opener, but it took some time. I think that they're really content and they're comfortable in who they are. They're coming at least into this game with a sound sense of their identity.
This is easy too, but the game is in the United States and not on that field.
Kicker.
Yeah.
Big difference. Kicker. Brandon McManus better than Braden Narveson.
All right, when we come back on Green Bay Nation, we are heading into the Packers locker room to hear how the Green Bay team is feeling about this win or go home environment in Philadelphia. That's In the Zone next. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. With the Commanders' win, and the Packers' loss on Sunday, Green Bay earned the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs for the 2nd year in a row. Last time, they embraced the underdog role and upset the Cowboys in the wild card round. Can the Green and Gold do the same this season against another NFC East opponent, the 2nd seed Eagles? Time to go In the Zone with Cami Zaire.
It's win or go home, the moniker that makes the NFL playoffs just oh so great and one of a kind. The Packers hoping to relish under that pressure just as they did against Dallas a season ago.
We ain't worked this hard to come this far. You know, we went through a lot, you know, in camp, you know, through the season to even get here. So our mindset is on one goal, and, you know, that's how we're preparing this week.
We've been through a lot already, so, you know, no game is really a lot of pressure if you don't think about it that way. You know, just thinking about it as an opportunity that you could capitalize on. You know, that's all I really think about.
You got to be able to go out there and execute and take advantage of every play. You know, you can't really have mess ups and mistakes, and there's no do-overs in the playoffs. So I think this group understands that, and obviously we got some reps of that last year, but got to go out there and play our best ball.
We're going to go in there as an underdog, but we still Green Bay Packers, so they know we can beat them, you know. Any team can be beat, you know, on any given Sunday, so that's how we looking at it.
Green Bay hoping it's back-to-back seasons where pressure makes diamonds. Now, guys, from what you've seen over the last few weeks, do you think the Packers are ready to perform under so much pressure?
Time now for Q&A with Green Bay. It's now or never. Are they ready to take on the Eagles?
I don't know. We'll find out on Sunday afternoon at 3:30. I mean, certainly they've had 5 opportunities to beat top teams in the NFC, and they haven't done it yet. 0-1 against the Eagles, swept by both the Vikings and the Lions. And yet, I still would not be surprised at all if this is a 4th quarter game, close, decided by a few plays, and I think the Packers are good enough to win this game. Now, it's going to take nothing less than their best. The Packers need to be at their absolute best to give themselves a chance to beat the Eagles. The Eagles can win this game without playing their best. The Eagles are better on paper. But I'm not discounting the Packers. I don't think the pressure will be too big, if that's the question.
I don't think there's any question that if you subscribe to the theory that you want to make a Super Bowl run in the Packers, right? That's the goal, and that the road to the Super Bowl at some point in some round is going to go through Philadelphia. This is the week you prefer to do it because you're going to be going, presumably, against Jalen Hurts, who's not out of concussion protocol yet, but he will be. You're going to be going against a quarterback that's thrown 4 passes the past 4 weeks. There's going to be some rust there, and it's a lot better to get a rusty quarterback early than let him work off that rust and get him a couple weeks later. So that's an advantage for the Packers. I think it will be a 4-quarter game. With that said, they have not made the winning plays late against good teams in close games all season. It's kind of hard to expect that to change in January.
The Packers haven't beat the best in the NFC, but if they're going to start, they have to do it now because it's win or go home. If you want to catch up more with Cam, you can tune in to Cam's Corner on Sunday mornings during Green and Gold Game Day. To learn about winning a free stay at the Legacy Hotel, all you got to do is scan the QR code on your screen. Vote who you think will have the best week in fantasy. One vote gives you a chance to win. And when we come back, it's time for Challenge or No Challenge presented by Bayside Machine Corporation. Will the flags fly? That's after the break. Welcome back to Green Bay Nation. Time now for Challenge or No Challenge presented by Bayside Machine Corporation. If you don't know by now, the rules are simple. If I say something and they agree, nothing happens. If they disagree, the flags hit the floor or each other. That's how we've interpreted it recently. All right, you guys ready to go?
Shout out to Matt LaFleur, first successful challenge of the season in Week 18.
Took him long enough.
All right. Well, you're taking too long. I want to talk now.
Okay.
All right. So the Packers have lost 6 games this season by an average of 4 points. I think this one is going to be close. The first matchup was close. Challenge or no challenge, this one ends as a 1-score game.
No challenge. And this is one where even if it's a 2-score game at the end, oftentimes you'll get the back door covered or make it a 1-possession game to play the math game. I feel like there's not a lot of confidence from Packer Nation right now going to Philly. I think there should be a little more confidence. I think this will be a close game into the fourth quarter.
I'd love to throw this flag at Marcus, but I can't challenge this one. I have a lot of confidence that this team's going to compete. We've seen them basically compete against everyone that's been on their schedule. They haven't beat the good teams, but they've competed. I think they'll compete again.
So Xavier McKinney snagged another interception in the Week 18 loss. I won't tell you what happened after he snagged the interception, but it counted. Challenge or no challenge, X makes a big impact play. Doesn't have to be a pick. It could be a PBU, a TFL, forced fumble. Challenge or no challenge?
No challenge. I mean, he does it pretty much every week. Xavier McKinney, a former New York Giant, has a lot of history against the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, he's played 5 career games against the Eagles. He has 4 interceptions against the Eagles in those 5 games, including 1 in the season opener. So, yeah, I think X makes that impact play on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge that just because you clarified with me during the break. Impact on the game is different than impact play. He'll have an impact on the game. Quarterbacks throw nowhere near him. And he doesn't have Keenan Allen, a receiver, this week to throw him a pick. So I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to throw a ball in the vicinity of Xavier McKinney. Tough to make an impact play that way.
All right, quickly. This one's pretty easy. Saquon Barkley, very good at football. Challenge or no challenge, Barkley touchdown.
No challenge. Saquon Barkley's getting in the end zone. He's a stud. He's going to get his.
I can't disagree. No challenge.
All right, when we come back, it's time to wrap up the show and get green and bold for the wild card matchup between the Packers and the Eagles. It is time now to get green and bold here on Green Bay Nation. The first round of the playoffs, the wild card, 7-seed Packers taking on 2nd-seed Eagles. Who do you have winning?
The Eagles are really good. They have very few question marks, fewer question marks than the Packers do. They're healthier. They're well-rested. I just have a feeling the Packers are going to prove something on Sunday. I think they're going to show up, play their best. It's going to be a good game, and the Packers are going to find a way to pull it out.
I do not share that feeling. I do not have it myself. Now, I didn't have a feeling last year in the wild card going down to Dallas that was going to be, a big Packers win either. Who knows what will happen? But how many times does a team need to tell you who they are before you believe them? This team has said over and over again that they can compete with anyone. They cannot beat the best in the NFC. I don't see it changing now.
I have a hard time believing that a Packers team that lost to the Bears because of self-inflicted injuries is going to beat one of the best teams in the NFL. I want them to because I want you guys to keep coming on my show. But I'm picking the Eagles in this one right now. The Packers take on the Philadelphia Eagles 3:30 on Sunday. For Green Bay Nation, thanks for tuning in.